We've been working. We've been working. All right, what's going on, Conscious Crew? Let's get these likes up. Y'all know I've been working back to back, so YouTube ain't fucking with the notifications. So the only way that we're gonna be able to counter that is by thumbing up the motherfucking video. All right, so up video, you guys are coming in. You guys already know what. A little bit of get some updates on all things you see in this title, girl. It's a lot going on the 9th day of Christmas, baby. It's a lot of things going on the 9th day of Christmas, girl. All right, before we get into it, go ahead and thumbs up. You guys know that thumbing up not only helps with YouTube's algorithm, but more importantly, it triggers up YouTube's notification system. So when you are thumbing up the video, you are literally knocking on the digital door of another Conscious Crew member and telling them to get their black asses into the sanctuary. Also, make sure that you guys have your notification bell set to all, because you never know what day or hour the king shall be kanging. And last but not least, please share the stream out to wherever it is you have digital community, whether that be your YouTube community wall, your Snapchat, your MySpace, your Twitter, Tumblr, the dark side of your OF. I don't really give a damn where you in fact lay the link. Just let them whores know that we're live, and we're certainly in color. With no further ado, let's go ahead and push on through Oakland.
I know a place where you can recharge your soul.
Baby, that's Consciouztv.
And in the midst of brokenness, he gon' see your asshole.
Baby, that's Consciouztv.
You gon' heal, you gon' laugh and catch a little shade.
Ooh, girl.
Y'all know he be slaying, y'all better stop playing. Come hear what he's saying.
Ladies and gentlemen.
All right, let's go ahead and run the likes up. All right, let's get into it. Let me speak to everybody coming into the sanctuary. What's going on? Rumors in T. Hey, Sherry. Hey, Star. Hey, Rebecca. Hey, Keita75. What's going on, Yolanda? Hey, Rebecca. Hey, Charity the Gift. What's going on? Hey, Healing Daily. Hey, oh my gosh. What's going on, Ave? Hey, Coda Girl. Shout out to my baby father, Todd, for the old nasty piece of child support check. You guys know all donation information is in the description box below. $Consciouztv on Cash App, spelled just how it is here on the platform. PayPal.me/Consciouztv, spelled just how it is here on the platform. All information is in the ticker as well as in the description box below. And my moderators routinely share out all my handles. What's going on, Coda Girl? Hey, Brittany. Hey, Lady D. Hey, High Maintenance. What's going on, Simply Red? Hey, Blood Rena. What's going on, Daryl Robinson? Hey, boo. What's going on, St. Marquise? Hey, love. Hey, Cat. Hey, Her Story. What's going on, Rhiannon? Jennifer Stanford? Hey, boo. What's going on, Janie? Hey, Ray. What's going on, K Person? What's going on, Sandra? What's going on, Tiffany? Hey, boo. Hey, Benny Van. Hey, babes. What's going on, Dancing with Nature? Hey, Denitri. What's going on, Chloe? What's going on, Carolyn? What's going on, Dancing with Nature? Hey, Asia. Hey, y'all. All right, so we got to get into an update, you guys. There's a lot going on. First thing first on the docket. Well, before we even get into the docket, girl, let me just go ahead and give a disclaimer, child. Let me tell y'all something. I don't know about y'all, but let me tell y'all. Oh, wait a minute, girl. These lights are too motherfucking bright. Hold on. I'm shining bright like a diamond at 100%, baby. I don't know if we need all that. Hold on. I did not know these damn studio lights were lifting me up to the glory like this, child. A bitch gonna be as blind as that bifocal wearing hoe from yesterday, Gworllll. My God, today. Can't be going out like that. Hold no, ma'am. Can't do it. I just can't do it. Okay, hold on. Getting these Get this light together, child. Hey, y'all. All right. I don't know about y'all, but let me tell y'all something. We are living in the age of enlightenment. We are living in the age of information. There's going to be a lot of misinformation, a lot of clickbait, a lot of falsities, a lot of smoke and mirrors. And because the market is already getting oversaturated in clickbait shit, misinformation, people being more interested in narratives than truth, my patience for bullshit is like this, baby. It's about as short as that bitch from yesterday's brittle, bad, relaxed ponytail, baby. Okay, broken off, baby, with this much hair, baby. Okay, a scoop of hair left, baby. I ain't got a lot of damn patience left in me. All right, now I am into conspiracy theories. All right, however, I'm making the space for conspiracies that make a lot of damn sense. Okay, and mostly we rely on a conspiracy when we don't have a lot of facts to deal with or to align with in a given situation. All right, so we're going to be leading with as much fact as possible rather than conspiracy, because baby, I just got to preserve this transmission and engine I call the brain, and I just can't deal with motherfuckers hearing something that wasn't said, people relying on psychics over surveillance footage, baby. Like, baby, I can't deal, baby. That ain't what y'all gonna get over here. So I'm just letting y'all know right now, baby, anytime we got the facts gonna always be pedestalized over the woulda, the coulda, and the goddamn shouldas and maybes, baby. When there are facts to deal with, we're going to fact it out, all right? When the facts are weak, the facts are vague, the facts are barely available, baby, then we're going to get into a whole lot of hypothetical. We're going to get into a whole lot of damn conspiracy shenanigans, baby, okay? Because I just ain't set up. I ain't built that way for 2025, baby. Baby, next, baby, I just ain't built that way. I just can't do it, all right? So, let's go ahead and get into it, girl. You guys know that we had reported that Onika III, Tanya Petty, Mirage threesome girl Petty has been sued by her former tour manager, who's going for millions of dollars in pain and suffering and assault, child. All right. TMZ was the first to report that out of what, Detroit or Chicago? What are we talking about? Where is the state and city in which we're talking about? Wayne County. All right. Out of Wayne County, Detroit Police Department, they were entertaining a arrest warrant for Onika as a result of battering and beating and bruising this damn man allegedly the hell up, which you guys know Kenneth and Nicki have a bit of a track record, baby, for alleged assault. There is a officer out in Germany who got his ass whooped, beat, jaw got broken. He acquired all type of injuries and medical expenses shy. And Onika and her registered husband thought that they were so above the law that they didn't even respond to the lawsuit, which resulted in this security guard getting a $500,000 default judgment, which he has begun the garnishing process for. All right. So when you put this manager's accusations into perspective, baby, there's a lot more room to believe that his testimony is true than not. All right. Well, as a result of his lawsuit, Wayne County out in Detroit, girl, started entertaining a warrant arrest for Onika's imprisonment. All right. Now, apparently, this is standard. All right. As it relates to assault. But TMZ has reported that upon inquiry and review, Wayne County has decided to deny criminal Barbie's arrest warrant. So let's get into it. As you guys are doing so, please thumbs up, thumbs up, thumbs up. share, because baby, as always, we are motherfucking working. All right. Courtesy of TMZ, girl. Nicki Minaj, cops warrant request denied because further investigation is required, girl. Hot motherfucking mess. Nicki will not be arrested as of now regarding the assault allegations made by her former manager, at least not yet. TMZ has learned the warrant cops requested has been denied. A spokesperson for the Wayne County Prosecutor's Office tells TMZ they have reviewed the warrant request from the Detroit Police Department, but have chosen to deny it due to insufficient evidence proving a crime had been committed. The prosecutor's office does add that it's requested the police further investigate the matter. So while they are not going to sign off on an arrest warrant yet, they have officially opened up a police investigation, a criminal investigation into the matter. And if they find that there is enough data, enough corroborating or empirical evidence to lock this illegal ass bitch up, baby, that's exactly what they're going to do to criminal Barbie ass. As we've reported, Minaj was accused of getting physical with former manager Brandon Garrett in a recent civil lawsuit, but it looks like prosecutors didn't think there was enough evidence of a crime to move forward with an arrest warrant, or at least not absent further investigation. TMZ broke the story. Garrett claims the rapper got aggressive with him while on tour in Detroit back in April of last year, alleging that Nicki Minaj flew into a rage over a situation regarding her personal prescriptions. All right. Now, we have been speculating, girl, what prescriptions would cause Nicki to go into a fit of rage, girl. Okay. Was it antifungal pussy odor ointment, girl? Okay. Was it a prescription to treat a bacterial vaginal infection, girl? Okay. Is she treating a case of crabs, baby? Like, what is the tea, child? Okay. What in the hell would you be so upset and enraged about some random knowing what you were getting prescribed at the local Walgreens or CVS pharmacy, baby, that would cause you to damn near kill this damn man, okay? This man damn near got his ass whooped. He got smacked. He got his wrist damn near broken. He had to stay in the female restroom of the arena until they damn closed out of fear that Kenneth Petty was wanting to acquire another damn felony criminal charge, baby. Okay, so, baby, it does beg the question, child, of what in the hell was she prescribed, baby, that warranted alleged such brutality. All right, BG says that the rap star threatened his life, hit him in the face, and slapped him on the wrist, which is why he's suing her for assault, battery, and intentional infliction of emotional distress. However, Nicki's lawyer has since slammed the lawsuit as completely false and frivolous. We've reached out to Minaj rep and the Detroit PD for further comment. So far, no word back, girl. All right, so the fat lady has not sung yet, baby. Onika ass could very well end up in damn prison, girl. They have allegedly, according to TMZ sources, opened up an official police investigation into this crime. If they find sufficient evidence, girl, Trump is going to be forced to put Nicki, Petty, and all her damn lineage on the back of a paddy wagon, along with the rest of these violent, illegally in the country ass immigrants, baby, and ship their asses back to Jamaica, back to the sugarcane fields in which they came from, bitch, back to the other side of the incomplete USA border wall that our taxpayer dollars are not paying for, baby. Okay? Get this violent, illegal, undocumented heathen and her heathenistic ass husband up off of U.S. soil, baby. I'm here for it, baby. Okay? See, Rihanna is over here too without a damn visa. But she ain't causing no damn problems and paying her damn taxes accordingly, baby. Okay, Onika over here, okay, on the banana boat, baby, and putting all type of black eyes and broken jaws on natural born citizens, baby. Okay? So if she gonna be a violent, illegal immigrant, baby, Trump, Run her ass up out of here come January 20th, baby. It's supposed to be a 3-week extravaganza going on the first week of Trump's administration, girl, where he's going to be rounding up and deportating the hell out of 1/3 of the American population, bitch. And right, ISIS, baby. ISIS, baby. Can Onika spell ISIS, sugar? All right, so she better pray to them damn gargoyles and demons and them damn Illuminati ass principalities that got her ass famous to begin with, in order for her to have some damn immunity, girl. Because if they find enough sufficient evidence, she gonna have a bigger issue than just a civil lawsuit, baby. She gonna have to deal directly with Wayne County prosecutors. All right, now moving forward, girl. Okay, I think I'm gonna get to Twitch last, since there's a lot going on with Miss Twitch, child. Megan Thee Stallion. You guys know that Big Megan girl is suing a failed and disgraced YouTube uploader by the name of Milagro Gramz. Most of y'all may know her as Milagro Scams, bitch. All right, for cyber stalking and defamation. You guys know that Megan Thee Stallion is also seeking a restraining order for the second time around against her ex-fling and the man that popped her in the goddamn feet and is now serving a 10-year bid, and will also be deported back to Canada upon completion of that decade-long sentence by the name of Tory Ballhead Lange, child. Well, you guys know that things got very interesting just a few weeks ago because Rock Nation's attorneys, okay, that old nasty piece of clever, nosy ass Alex Spiro, had done amended the cyberstalking defamation lawsuit against Milagro Scams and fucked around and popped her ass, okay, by proving that she indeed is an alleged paid surrogate as cited in the amended complaint, by posting the damn Venmo payments from Tory Lane's father to Milagro Scams, accumulating a $3,000 payment in total over a 3-year goddamn period, baby. Well, you guys know that when that shocking evidence went viral all across social media platforms, there were some people who were questioning, well, are these receipts made up? It doesn't show you who the payments went to. It only shows you where the payments came from, which was Tory Lane's father. You guys also know that Alex Spiro poured the goddamn prison calls between Tory Lanez and his dad, cackling about how they don't believe that Megan is going to be able to prove that Milagro is in fact a paid surrogate, baby. Then they got popped. Well, they got popped real bad in this new declaration, girl. Matter of fact, we're going to go ahead and read the declaration. Then we're going to skim right to the necessary receipts, girl, because this is a long declaration, baby. They got whole transcripts in here, making this whole declaration almost a 300-page document, which we are not going to read the entirety of, baby. That's what we're not going to do. All right. But this is a, let me see here. This is a declaration of Mari F. Henderson in support of Megan Thee Stallion's petition for a civil harassment restraining order against Tory Ballhead Lange. All right, so let's get into the shout out to my street committee member, Chef, who always keeps me up on the litigation paperwork, child. Hey, everybody coming into the building. Hey, y'all, thumbs up, please. All right, let's get into this declaration, girl, in support of Megan Thee Stallion's restraining order against Daystar. I, Mary F. Henderson, declare as follows. I'm a partner at the law firm of Quinn Emanuel Uphort and Civilian LLP, counsel of record for Megan Pete in the above caption action. I am a member in good standing of the State of Bar of California. I have personal knowledge of the facts set forth in this declaration, and if called as a witness, could and would testify competently to such facts under oath. Attached here to as Exhibit 21 is a true and correct copy of the October 13th, 2020 protective order issued in the criminal case People versus Daystar Peterson, held before the Honorable David Hereford of the LA Superior Court. Clara Shortridge Fox Criminal Justice Center. The protective order prohibited Mr. Peterson from harassing Miss Pete, having personal electronic, telephone, or written contact with Miss Pete, contacting Miss Pete through a third party, and coming within 100 yards of Miss Pete. Attached here too is Exhibit 22 is a true and correct copy of the court's denial of Mr. Peterson's motion to modify the protective order in the criminal case. Exhibit 23 is a true and correct copy of a certified transcript of Miss Pete's December 13, 2022 testimony in the criminal trial. Exhibit 24 is a true and correct copy of the felony abstract of judgment in the criminal case, showing Mr. Peterson's conviction for 3 felony counts: 1 for assault with a semi-automatic handgun, 2 carrying a loaded unregistered firearm in a vehicle, and 3 discharging a firearm with gross negligence. Attached here too as Exhibit 25 is a true and correct copy of the register of actions in the criminal case, which reflects the court's gag order issued against Mr. Peterson following his violation of the protective order. As to the gag order, on April 5th of 2022, the court ordered that Mr. Peterson not mention anything regarding complaining witness or anything about the case directly or indirectly on any social media or in any public statement. Exhibit 26 is a true and correct copy of a certified transcript of an October 30th of 2024 call between Mr. Peterson and Caesar McDowell, the co-founder and CEO of Unite the People, Inc., a nonprofit organization whose legal team is representing Mr. Peterson in this matter and in his criminal appeal. During the call, Mr. McDowell reads to Mr. Peterson a draft of the public statement Unite the People ultimately issued regarding its representation of Milagro Elizabeth Cooper in the lawsuit brought against her by Ms. Pete. Mr. Peterson approves the public statement before it is published. Attached here too as Exhibit 27 is a true and correct copy of a certified transcript of a November 7, 2024 call between Mr. Peterson, Mr. Dowell, and an individual referred to as Dwayne. During this call, Dwayne asked Mr. Peterson, quote, "So you got a write-up for the knee case and the phone, right?" Mr. Peterson replies, 2 threes, 2 different write-ups on the phone. It's possession of one, and then the other one is constructive possession of one, because they got me on a picture. Attached here too as Exhibit 28 is a true and correct copy of a history of Zelle transaction information reflecting payments from Daystar Peterson's father, Sunstar Carliso Peterson, to Mob Radio LLC, Milagro Elizabeth Cooper's podcast platform, and I declare under penalty of perjury under the laws of the state of California that the foregoing is motherfucking true and goddamn correct. Now let's get to the good shit, baby. Let's get to that motherfucking exhibit, okay? Because you guys know the original Zelle payments only showed where the payments came from, but not who they went to. Causing nosy assholes on the internet, baby, to speculate about the authenticity of the receipt, as if Alex Spiro is going to produce anything that can't be legitimized, girl, by the facts, by the banks, by Zelle, by forensic scientists, girl. Okay, baby. Alex Spiro and about that fake ass photoshopping life, girl. All right. But just for the gags of it all, we now have those verified payments in black and motherfucking white, y'all. Look at this shit. Look at this shit, girl. Here are the Zelle transaction payments between Daystar Peterson's father to Milagro scams. Here it is. You see Wells Fargo, Tory Lane's father, Chase, Mob Radio LLC, Milagro Gramz, email address delivered, okay? $500 payment. Here's more, all right? From Tory Lane's father's Wells Fargo Chase account to Mob Radio's Zelle, all right? 1,000. Another one for 300, girl. Baby, this is nasty work, baby. Alex Spiro is a nasty piece of attorney work, girl. Okay, here's another payment from Tory Lane's father to Milagro Scams Zelle for 200. Baby, here is another payment from his father to Fraud Radio for 500. Here's another one for 500 from Tory Lane's father. Girl, I am motherfucking I'm screaming, y'all. Now, mind you, the silly goofy hoe said and denied that she is a paid surrogate, but then early on in her attempting to litigate her case in a court of public opinion where it does not matter, she fucked around and accidentally admitted that she has received payments from Tory Lanez. Okay, I think she said it was like around one of these damn holidays where she was struggling to put presents under the Christmas tree for the daughter that she had by 3 different men. Okay, to make matters even more grueling, girl, they have the prison call between Tory and his father mocking Megan's ability to prove, in fact, that any money has come from them to Milagro scams. And you guys also know that despite Milagro scams claiming that she ain't scared, she ain't got nothing to hide, she ain't did nothing wrong, she ain't scrubbed her platform, she did in fact scrub her platform because Alex Spiro proved that she has tried to bleach and edit and redact her social media platform and their connection to incriminating things such as that infamous picture of Milagro scams and Daystar's daddy all snuggled up. All right, she deleted that shit from her Instagram. Thank you, Peaches. All right, y'all know I'm a colorful bitch. Y'all thumbs up, thumbs up, thumbs up, girl. I don't know what in the hell Scam's gonna do, girl. She's dealing with an amended complaint that involves cyber stalking on top of defamation. Her ass already done damn lied, committed damn perjury, girl. She going into this lawsuit with her head already in the goddamn sand, baby. And the way that Alex Spiro is set the hell up, girl, she ain't got no chance on top of the fact that she's being represented by the same law firm that failed to get any of Tory Lanez's appeals approved of by the courts regarding his freedom and regarding a potential retrial, girl. All right. Then that same law firm in representing her doesn't make the optics look good at all. Not only are you dealing with the law firm that couldn't do shit for Tory Lanez, but you're in a defamation cyberstalking lawsuit being accused of being a co-conspirator next to Tory Lanez, and then you're going to have his law firm represent you. Doubling down on the Zelle payments, coupled with the fact that there are recorded prison calls to them cackling and mocking the fact that they won't be able to prove this, girl. Girl, a shame and a damn scandal, right, Lady D? Starting off with major L's, child. Blood Arena says going back to change anything after a lawsuit has already been filed is just plain stupid. She honestly thought that they didn't save anything or was going to collect evidence. Right, that's why Alex Spiro Uli opt this bitch so bad. Because remember, when he first filed the lawsuit, I was like, this is kind of weak. Aside from the deep fake AI SCX video that she disseminated and promoted on her social medias, that was like the strongest thing in the suit initially. I thought the rest of it was pretty much weak in a wash, and she would be able to victor herself by sticking to her First Amendment rights. All right, baby, that was a setup. Alex Spiro expected Milagro scams to be dumb as hell, stupid as hell, and to get to yabba dabba doing on the internet after the initial filing. So what he did was file a mediocre complaint initially to gaslight her ass into running that motherfucking mouth and trying to clean up her bullshit, only for her to fall for the okie dokie and do just that, for him to amend the damn complaint and include her perjuring her damn self and letting that mouth write her a motherfucking check that her ass can't cash, baby. This is top tier lawyering, girl. Top tier lawyering. This is top tier lawyering. Okay? Whipping her ass. This is why attorneys always tell their clients, shut your dick sucker, baby. Shut the super sucker throater up, baby. Throw the key away. We don't argue no case in the court of public opinion. And if you're going to do that, baby, you get somebody else to run their damn mouth, okay? You don't run yours. My God, the game has already been told. So what is tea? So this is hilarious. You guys know that they have trial coming up. You guys know that Milagro went in to beg the courts to dismiss the amended complaint. They denied the dismissal on the first one. They're more than likely going to deny her motion to dismiss the amended complaint, because the amended complaint is more goddamn loaded with receipts of cyber stalking, harassment, and all said things than the first one was. So I highly doubt that the amended complaint is going to be dismissed. All right. I believe what we're waiting on actually is Megan Thee Stallion. No, she already responded. I think Megan already responded. So what we're waiting on is the judge, basically, to rule, to make a decision. So we'll be keeping you guys updated, girl, on what happens next, whether this thing's going to be greenlit into discovery, mediation, then trial, etc., child. But they got it going on. But the receipts have officially hit the fan, baby. There are the full-on receipts from Tory Lanez's father directly to Milagro Scam's Zelle account. All right. Now, moving on to the next story, girl. We got to get into Stephen Twitch Boss and this controversy regarding his widow, Allison Holker, who is now coming out with a memoir next month, which we will be reading, that is going to chronicle her journey through the aftermath of Twitch's self-deletion and what she's learned about mental health issues, what she's learned about her husband, what she's learned about herself, in hopes that her story and her journey can comfort those who have already dealt with this and those who may be dealing with this in the damn future, and how spouses, friends, and family can look out for telltale signs when it comes to loved ones who may be dealing with severe depression, who may not... Oh, wait a minute, baby. Oh my God. But hold on, y'all. We just got major girl. I love the street committee, girl. We just got major update. Hold on. We got to go back to the Megan Thee Stallion story. The judge has granted Megan Thee Stallion a 5-year restraining order, girl, against Miss Tory Lanez. Let me pull the receipts. Oh my God. All right. And the blogs are reporting Megan testifies that she fears Tory Lanez might oot her again, and this time it could be fatal. Megan Conniff. Oh, hold on. Let me just pull all this up, child. Wow. Girl, the Teflon Don of the courtroom, girl. Somebody go tell Slob Radio to run, bitch. Run, girl, because if it's anything, Megan might not get her weight on them billboards, but that bitch gets her weight and got anointing and favor in them damn courtrooms, girl. My God, today. Okay, you guys see this reporting live from World Star, aka Hell. Megan Conniff, the journalist, reported that Megan Thee Stallion testified via video a few minutes ago in the restraining order hearing for Tory Lanez, and she says she fears what could happen when he's released from prison. Quote, feel like maybe he'll oot me again, and maybe this time I won't make it. Megan Conniff goes on to say that Lanez isn't eligible for parole until September of 2029. The restraining order Judge Bloom is issuing will be in effect for 5 years through January the 9th of 2030. Go the fuck off. Shout out to Megan Thee Stallion, bitch. Yes, God. Baby, teddy ass up, girl. Megan getting all her lit backs, baby. When she published this lawsuit on motherfucking Halloween, girl, I knew they was up to some shit, baby. I knew they were up to some things. Nancy Dillon over on Twitter is also reporting, Gworllll. Let me share the screen. Let me share the motherfucking screen. Wow, wow, wow. Nancy Dillon reports judge just granted Megan Thee Stallion's request for a 5-year restraining order against Tory Lanez. He said, cited, quote, several uncontroverted facts, including conduct that culminated in Tory ooting approximately 5 rounds at petitioner that resulted in injuries to her. The Teflon Don wins a motherfucking again. My God, to base snapping. Snapping. And people out here talking about Tony Busby, bitch. No, baby. Y'all better get into the Alex Spiro bag, baby. Alex Spiro got the track record, baby. The Teflon Dons of the motherfucking courtroom. And y'all know Tory Lanez tried to argue why this is bullshit, baby. He harassing that damn woman from behind bars. He got his paid Sheen exclusive ass surrogate out here, girl, doing his dirty work for her or for him, child. This ain't looking good for Milagro scams, baby. Because if Tory Lanez, who has clout, fame, and money, can't even contend with Megan Thee Stallion, bitch, how much more is a raggedy bitch on station head gonna be able to contend with the queen of courtroom success, girl? My God, today. Y'all better go break the news, girl, to Milagro scams, girl. Run, bitch. Okay, her only defense is to run like Star Marie did when Cardi B, girl, came for the whole block, baby. Okay, Star ran right down there to New Mexico, girl. All right. So this is incredible. This is necessary. This is what happens when you are a fucking troll. And a bitch finally gets sick of your shit, because Tory Lanez is a troll. He's an industry troll. And he has a pathology of violence, all right? Not just against Megan or Kelsey, who he beat the hell out of, but against Alcina, Prince from Love and Hip Hop Hollywood, okay? Travis Scott has a pathology of lying and violence, baby. That short man complex ain't got his ass nowhere but in prison and in lawsuits, because he also had to settle out of court when Prince sued his ass for fucking up his bottom grill, girl. Okay? One punch to the motherfucking dome, girl. Had them rock Prince shit, girl. Had his shit shoulder leaning to the left, girl. All right? So, baby, yes, Trump, get these violent, illegal, undocumented immigrants like Onika and Tory Lanez up out of here, baby. Okay, back to the caves of Canada and the sugarcane fields of Trinidad, where they motherfucking ass came from. Girl, I am shocked right now, baby. Megan Thee Stallion is having a great start to her 2025, baby. Megan Thee Stallion showing y'all, bitch, she is not the one to fuck with. Fuck what you heard, baby. Okay? Dun. Who's bad? The Teflon Don, girl. Megan, we need to be friends, girl. Teach me everything you know, bitch. I want to know all your secrets, girl. All right? So, breaking news. Megan Thee Stallion just had a teleconference with the judge regarding her restraining order against abuser and industry troll and loser Tory Lanez, and has been granted a 5-year restraining order while this nigga is behind bars. Could you imagine this level of L? Bitch, the bitch who you put yourself behind, she helped the DA to put you behind bars, and also not only got you a 10-year sentence, bitch, but got a restraining order against your ass from behind bars, bitch. And this is who is representing Milagro scams. Y'all better be scared for her. Be very, very, okay, Queen of Topics said Milagro shaking in her damn boots, baby. Shaking, girl, twerking in the knees. Milagro right now is twerking in the kneecaps, girl. I would be shook right now, girl. I would be on live right now begging my supporters, girl, to get me a Greyhound ticket, a Megabus ticket, baby, to Mexico, baby. Baby, the way I would be out of here right now with one suitcase and a big straw hat, girl. The way I would be Jada Pinkett Smith, girl, at the conclusion to set it off, girl. Baby. Baby, the way a bitch would be on the run like Beyonce and Jay-Z. Girl, this nasty word, girl. I wouldn't pay to be none of these motherfuckers right now, baby. They got it going on, y'all. Wow, wow, wow. Congratulations to Meg, girl. Team Meg all day. Okay, Teflon Don and Rock Nation, Tory Lanez, the team, including Slob on period rumors. My God, today, girl. This is crazy. We ain't even a whole 10 days, y'all, into the new year. What in the hell is going on? What's going on, Jay Ivory? What is going on, Shamika? It's something in the water, baby. Did the drones just spray chaos over the country, baby? What the hell is going on with America right now, girl? America is in turmoil. America is literally on fire, girl. This girl is on fire, baby. America literally, bitch, is on fire, both physically and metaphorically. Red 9, girl. Everything going on in LA is a symbolic representation of the state and condition of the damn country right now. What's going on, Nurse Moonshine? Hey, boo. Girl, this is a mess, girl. This is just a mess, girl. I feel like we are living in a ongoing action pack ass Bruce Willis Die Hard 4 ass movie, girl, that just does not come to a fucking end. Okay? A mess. All right, so let's get to our next story, which is Twitch, girl. Twitch and his bitch, Allison Holker, girl. Twitch, you guys know, took his life back in 2022. He left behind 3 children, 2 of those kids with his widow, and a stepchild who was from a previous relationship of Allison's, girl. You guys know, fast forward, Allison just did a old nasty piece of interview with People magazine where she disclosed that she found all type of drug paraphernalia in a Nike shoebox in their closet in the days following his funeral. And she is writing a memoir that talks about navigating her life after her husband took his life, picking up the pieces, the things she discovered, the things she's learned about mental health, the things she's learned about herself, etc., and hopes that this book and her journey will be comforting to those who have dealt with this type of loss and tragedy, and will hopefully help those who have not to prevent possibly these tragedies in their lives by paying attention to the very small things that show up when a person is severely depressed and living in secrecy and silence. Well, the family is completely outraged at Allison's admission regarding the drug paraphernalia and also things she discovered out of his journal regarding him being actually assaulted as a kid by a male figure. They are basically slamming her for exploiting her husband's death, for attempting to ruin Twitch's legacy. They also have made claims that they had to sign a NDA just to attend his funeral, that Twitch's mother had to sign an NDA just to see his body, that Allison is a drug user, not Twitch, and have also accused Allison of withholding the kids from the family. They also made other claims that the GUN that Twitch used was allegedly registered to her. And the brother came out yesterday and he also took to Instagram 3 hours ago. We're going to listen to all of that, and made claim that Twitch had confided in him about wanting to divorce Allison, but he talked Twitch into staying with Allison, but now he knows he made a grave mistake and is accusing not only the white bitch he married, but the white hoe that Twitch married being fetishizers of black male cock. Okay? So that also has created another response from the public, where you have fans of Twitch who are equally outraged with the family and feel like this is complete and utter bullshit and nasty work on behalf of a widow who they feel should be protecting her husband's public image and legacy. But then you also have black women who are saying, baby, this ain't they motherfucking business. Black men insist upon choosing white women to build generational wealth with. They continue to insist upon giving the best of themselves to white women and pledging an allegiance to non-black women. So this is what the consequences and the repercussions are to that interracial intermingling. All right. So black women, a big portion of the black woman community is waving the flag, girl, and minding a black ass business. All right. So it's a lot going on. Well, Allison responded to some things. As you know, yesterday, she tried her best to remind everybody that she is doing this with the greatest of intent and just sharing her story and hopes that it will help other people. We also pulled the People magazine interview. We're going to listen to that. And we're also going to read the statement that she released yesterday to all of social media as it relates to the backlash that she is receiving. But before we get into all of that, once again, please run the thumbs up, 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 you guys. We're going to get, once again, into origin story here. For those of you who kind of forgot how this all came about and what the details are surrounding Twitch's passing. All right. So let's get into the things, girl. This is courtesy of dailymail.co.uk. Exclusive inside the $107 a night LA motel where Ellen's co-star DJ Steven Twitch Balls, 40 years of age, shot himself in the head before his body was discovered in the bathroom in a pool of blood by a horrified maid. The Ellen DeGeneres Show DJ who ooted himself in a Los Angeles hotel room this week was found by a horrified maid, and the hotel manager told dailymail.com. Steven Twitch Boss 40, a longtime executive producer of The Ellen Show, checked into a room 249 at the Oak Tree Inn in Encino at around 10:30 a.m. on Monday. Quote, he went into his room and he never came out. The manager, Rakesh, said, quote, at 11:15 a.m. on Tuesday, the maid opened the door to check on the room. There was his stuff in there, but no one there. She checked the bathroom and there was blood everywhere. Quote, she was very scared. This is the first time anything like this had happened here. We called 911. They told us to check his pulse, but there was nothing. The paramedics and the police came and they said he was dead. Here's the Oak Tree Inn, girl. Y'all, thumbs up, thumbs up, thumbs up. Rakesh, who asked to be identified only by his first name, the manager, said that no guests or staff heard the GUN shot. Quote, maybe he did it during the day on Monday. It's a busy and loud road outside here. It's possible nobody heard it because of that, he said. Boss called ahead at around 9:20 a.m. on Monday to check if rooms were available, then walked a few blocks from his home. Rakesh said he seemed completely normal and calm. When he knocked on the door, there was no response. Rakesh said the maid opened the door and there was his stuff still in the room. Another member of staff confirmed Boss ooted himself in the head, with the manager adding that he did it in the bathroom. They said he used his own name to check into the motel on Monday and was not discovered until Tuesday morning. Here's that room, you guys. Wow, wow, wow. What an eerie image, knowing what took place behind the hotel door. Here is the inside of the room, the bathroom area. All right. Workers said that he ooted himself in the head, but no one heard the GUN shot, describing the scene as pretty bad. He left home on Monday without his car, and when he didn't return by Tuesday, disappearing overnight, his wife frantically ran to file a police report. Boss's family members arrived on Wednesday morning to look after the grieving wife and children at his 6-bedroom casino home, embracing his sobbing son, who ran out the house to greet them. One told DailyMail.com the family declined to comment. The So You Think You Can Dance star, who met his dance teacher and wife, Allison, 34 years of age, on the show in 2010, was father to 3 kids: Zaya, 3, Maddox Laurel, 6, and Wesley Renee, 14, who was born in Allison's previous relationship but adopted by Steven. The oversight has cast a dark cloud over the bright future of daughter Wesley, who is set to study at Notre Dame University with the class of 2026, according to a sign on the family's front lawn. She also plays for the school's soccer team, models sportswear, and is a young influencer for brands including Dick's Sporting Goods, managed by her parents. The couple appeared happy and planning for the future while appearing on the show in November, celebrating their 9th wedding anniversary 3 days before his death. Boss and his wife posted a heartfelt video of them dancing online to mark the occasion. He worked on Ellen's show from 2014 until it ended in 2022 and was made an executive producer in 2020. All right, I don't know why this damn website is moving so fucking slow. Jesus Christ. Come on, girl. Pooch, pooch, pooch. Oh, okay. Well, that's all of the article, girl. All right. So there was no suspected foul play. Even if Twitch had utilized his wife's GUN, I mean, they're spouses. She would have had access to his things. He would have had access to her things. Him using her GUN, which has not been proven or corroborated, does not also mean anything in and of itself, other than it being available. It was a weapon that was available for him to do what he was planning to do. Now, you guys also know that yesterday we talked about how Twitch seemingly was trying to tie up loose ends in the days leading to his death. He told his daughter that he wished he could be her Superman. He had called and checked on his sick mother to affirm his love for her. And tragedy struck, girl. All right. So there's that. Now, the brother spoke out, slamming Allison, as a narcissistic white witch preying on Black Dick, who is exploiting her husband's death and wants her to leave his friend and brother the fuck alone. He also let it be known that his mother, him and Twitch's mother, greenlight the witch hunt against Allison as a result of this tell-all book and this interview with People alleging that she found drug paraphernalia in his closet. Twitch's mother now has also slammed the misleading and hurtful claims about her son following Allison Holker's memoir, courtesy of 2Fab News. The mother, quote, says, he doesn't deserve this, and the kids don't deserve this. Okay, we are going to read actually her full statement here. Let's see if we can get into the full statement, child. Well, let me see if I can find the story. See if I can find this motherfucking story. Hold on, I think I found it. My computer is really acting like a whole bitch. Can't stand it. Okay, hold on. All right, let's take a look here. Courtesy of 2fab.com, Twitch's mother slams misleading and hurtful claims about her son following Allison Holker's memoir. Connie Boss Alexander says that she's absolutely appalled by the untruths in the media. The mother of Stephen Twitch Boss is speaking out following Allison Holker's recent comments about the late dancer. In an interview with People for its latest cover story, Holker, who discussed her new book, Thus Far, My Story of Love, Loss, and Embracing the Light, claimed that she allegedly discovered a cornucopia of Boss drug paraphernalia in their closet while picking out an outfit for him to wear for his funeral. The Ellen DeGeneres Show co-executive producer, alum, and longtime DJ died by suicide at the age of 40 in December 2022. Quote, our family is absolutely appalled by the misleading and hurtful claims made about my son, Stephen Boss. His mother shared in a post to Instagram, quote, the recent publications spreading untruths about Stephen have crossed every line of decency. As his mother, I will not let these accusations go unanswered. We will not stand by while his name and legacy are tarnished. He doesn't deserve this, and the kids don't deserve this. For the last 2 years, I have remained quiet and away from the public eye to protect my family. My primary focus has been on healing and attempting to remain connected to my grandchildren, she continued. But when I read these dreadful claims about my baby, our beloved Stephen, I realized I could not stay silent any longer. She concluded her statement, quote, our family will ensure his name and memory are protected, and we are committed to defending his honor. Taken to her Instagram story on Wednesday before his mother's statement, Holker defended herself from her late husband's friends, family, and fans. She wrote that, quote, her only intention in writing her book was to share my own story as well as part of my life with Stephen to help other people. Just like you, I never really knew what happened. And even as I am trying to put the pieces together, I would never really know, she continued, saying her intention is to celebrate the love life I shared with Stephen and our 3 beautiful children, and also the more complex aspects of both of our lives. She also said she hoped her story could help others catch some red flags that I missed before it's too late. Per Holker, all the proceeds from her book are going to a mental health organization she started in her late husband's honor, quote, which is called Move with Kindness. Quote, I believe that if Stephen were able to choose, he would choose to have his story told if it meant saving even one life, she concluded. Much love to all of those who have supported our family for these many years. So, as spoken about yesterday for 6.5 hours, the family is completely triggered by the implications of what Allison is alleging was a discovery of hers of drug paraphernalia amongst Twitch's possessions. They feel like this is a total slam to his legacy. Allison does not feel like it is a injury to his legacy, but actually helps to provide possible closure for those who loved him, and is using his death and his choice as a way to talk about the way that this destroys lives and the way that secrecy, shame, and possible addiction destroys people. Okay, it's an L for both sides. All right, so the people always want to call me girl. So the family and Allison are on 2 different ends in terms of their attitude and their perspective to this matter. All right. Now, the brother did speak out. You guys remember we played some of his stuff yesterday on Instagram. He said he was going to do an expose, said he got receipts of this, that, and the third. He did part 1. Apparently, this is part 2. He's claiming that Allison Holker is lying. The caption of the video is, the people that are speaking up aren't just fans or regular people. We are his close friends. We were close to him, not her. They were together 9 years. Some of us knew him for 20. Some his entire life. Allison will try and discredit anyone that knows Stephen or knew him. She has done this with his own family, his own mother and brothers. Comfort Fedock is one of his closest friends. Let's see what she has to say. I really hate this. She was fucking your brother. She passed 2 of his children through her womb. She lived with him. and had an intimate relationship to him for 9 years. She is in a position as a spouse that none of y'all have been in even for 20 years. Who people are in their interpersonal relationships can be very different than who they are socially to everyone else. You know how many women have been with men that were whipping their ass, that were raping them, that were beating them, that were emotionally and verbally abusing them, who were beloved by that man's mothers, brothers, aunts, who had no idea that their son, their nephew, their father was this individual. And not to say that this is true. We don't know what's true, but I just find it interesting that this family is just jumping to extreme conclusion without considering following the evidence first. Like, if I was in the family position, and this is a complicated matter because I understand that it seems as though there's a strained relationship between Allison and the family. I personally have suspected that the reason, if it's true, that she has withheld the children from the family is because all this energy here that they're doing is not isolated. This more than likely has been the energy she's been experiencing for the last 2-3 years from these motherfuckers. They've been talking a lot of shit. They've been whispering about her. They have been microaggressive toward her, etc. And she's chosen to not be in relationship to them because of their possible misguided anger toward her. So I'm not surprised that she's withholding her goddamn kids and keeping them from being poisoned by a family that is accusing her of in some way, shape, or form being connected to their brother and their loved one's death. That is a very extreme allegation, and you can't possibly think that you can feel that way about a person and you're going to still have access to them and have access to their fucking children. You just can't make that level of claim against someone in any way, shape, or form and think that yet they're going to be arms wide open, baby. Here I am. You know, y'all can come over for tea and crumpet, bitch. Are you stupid? And because of how immediate all of their behavior is, they were sitting right on the edge. And if they jumped out this quick, they haven't even read the book yet. They haven't even attempted to just woos. Okay, woosa. Let me woosa, baby. Let me see where this goes first. Let me see where this goes. Let me read the book. Let me just breathe. Let me give this bitch a benefit of a doubt before I get to possibly put in $20,000 on $5. You know, let me just woosah. No, just immediately run into war. That lets me know, baby, y'all been warring and things been very tense this whole 2-3 motherfucking years. You just don't play it nice and jump out the goddamn window like this. And then also don't think about how your behavior is going to injure the same kids that you claim she's kept y'all from. You can't accuse her of being reckless and not giving a fuck about the kids and the impact of this, and then think that any of y'all's behavior, running to social media, making these allegations against their mother, handling things in this way is any better for those kids that y'all claiming y'all love and that she should protect. Well, how are y'all protecting them? By being with all the buck shit. How are y'all protecting them? By being with all the hoopla. Okay? So there's a lot happening. All right? But let's go ahead and take a listen to what Twitch's brother has to say.
So y'all remember when I said in my last video, go look at what Comfort posted? Do y'all know who Comfort is? A big player in the game of entertainment. Her and my bro Steve was like this since here. So I'm about to post what she posted. She being close to Stephen way before he knew Allison. She been in this.
Yeah. I got a best friend right now whose whole 1-year-old is being kept from him by a black woman. He has done nothing but be a great father and provider for his kid. But out of that black woman's bitterness, she is projecting her feelings about the relationship onto the concept of custody. So, baby, y'all better talk to black men. It is a myth that black women wouldn't keep the kids from the family, baby. There are plenty of families upside down right now, baby, because of women of all races who, for one reason or another, are withholding the kids from the father side of the family or from the father himself. It's not a black woman thing. It's not this is just something that happens amongst situations of all kinds.
Relationship with Stephen before Stephen was even the Stephen that y'all know. She was associate choreographer on the new movie Wicked. She's a GOAT in this game. I'm about to post what she posted. Let's see what she posted.
Okay, so this is that person, Comfort Fed Doki. Quote, if you truly love your late husband, Al Stephen Gworllll, boss, even if there was challenges with his family, basic decency and compassion would compel you to show respect, especially if you claim he was fighting an addiction you didn't even know about while he was alive. Wouldn't love call for concern and communication with his family rather than airing it out in a magazine? What's the real motive here? Awareness or attention? Stephen isn't here to defend himself, yet his name continues to be dragged through the mud. Love doesn't look like this, but manipulation and marketing for personal gain does, as Courtney said. And I'll echo, stick to your own demons. Before we move on from this, once again, as somebody who is intentional about the way that I move in my personal life, the way I navigate adversities, the way I navigate conflict, etc. A person who is very intentional about elevating my self-awareness and elevating my emotional intelligence in situations. I just can't tolerate and endorse this behavior from the family. They are making a lot of assumptions without even obviously attempting to actually consider what Allison has said her intent was, and seemingly have felt to even put themselves in her shoes as a woman that had to carry on life financially and had to carry on life with 3 fucking kids while her husband made a decision to release himself from all of those things without as much as a goodbye, without as much of a goddamn will. When it comes to self-deletion, I don't believe that the blame per se should be put on any one person. But if you're going to blame anybody, you have to blame the person that created the trauma, that created the circumstance. And that would be Stephen, not Allison. There would be no memoir. There would be none of the issues that followed his passing had Stephen made a different decision. But Stephen made the choice he made. And if you can, as a family, accept that Stephen made his choice and y'all aren't going to judge him for it, y'all are not going to critique him for it, y'all are not going to hold his feet to the fire for it, then how much more do you have to do that for those who are amongst the living and have to make now their choices in terms of how they navigate and how they recover? You cannot take him off the hook who authored this entire breakdown in his family and then put Allison up there fully on the cross and nail every goddamn limb through that piece of wood, baby. That is not intelligent, and it's also not fair. Because if you can bring yourself to make space for your loved one's choice to end their life and to leave everybody else abandoned in that process, leave everybody else confused in that process, leave everybody else not concern yourself at all with the impact of your choice, then certainly this is the same group of people who can extend that virtue and that compassion toward one another, irregardless of the choices being made on either side. Because at the end of the day, Stephen Twitch Boss put his mother, his children, his brother, his friends, and his wife in this predicament. Not Allison, baby. Stephen Twitch Boss did it. They're not dragging Twitch for his choice, but are leading a witch hunt and a crucifixion of the widow who had to wake up the next morning to find her husband not there and frantically went to the police, only to find out in less than 48 hours that her husband had claimed his own life. And if it's true that he did it with her gun, that only adds insult to goddamn injury. And for you to think that Allison owes the family anything motherfucking more than Twitch did, for you to think that Allison, the in-law, the widowed wife, owes you more or anything more than your own brother did, than your own son did, than your own father and friend did, is a wow misnomer in the situation. Now, I know why a lot of people are going to agree with the family and the way they think about this, the way they perceive this, the way they're reacting to this. And it's because 90% of the American population are filled with a bunch of emotional idiots. And that's just the raw to God, honest motherfucking truth. Most Americans are emotionally stupid, emotionally immature, very emotionally led, emotionally driven, emotionally controlled, and profoundly ignorant on top of that as it relates to self-deletion, which is why all those loved ones he had no idea he didn't want to even fucking live. The brother up here talking about a bitch who knew him for 20 years, and had no idea that he wanted to put a goddamn bullet in his motherfucking head. So what the fuck are you even talking about, as if there's any real equity and substance in any of y'all's relationship to Twitch when none of y'all were privy to what his real inner condition was, what his real feelings and reality mentally and in his heart was. His journal knew more about his reality than his wife, his mama, his brother, his friends for 20, 30 years. His Nike shoebox knew more about him than his wife, his brother, his friends, and family knew about him of decades. And instead of looking at that, because see, baby, that's the substance right there. If we're going to blame anybody, what we need to take a motherfucking look at is how all of us possibly felt Twitch. Because none of us knew he was suffering to this degree. None of us knew he wanted to claim his motherfucking life. None of us created a space and a relationship in such a way that it allowed our loved one to be transparent and vulnerable enough for us to possibly have interceded and gotten ahead of this thing before it ever claimed his goddamn life. See, that's what emotional intelligent folk do. What emotionally ignorant ass motherfuckers do is look for somebody else to blame in a situation in order to cope with what is difficult for them to cope with. And instead of doing the work and getting to the rooty of the tootie and keeping your eye on the substance and the prize. We get caught up in the unnecessary blame game as a defense mechanism because we can't confront the most uncomfortable truth in this situation, which is that, wow, my brother didn't love me enough to stay alive. My son didn't love me enough to stay alive. My friend didn't love me enough to tell me this and to keep his ass alive. So I'm going to do the most convenient and egoic and easy thing to do, which is blame all of this on the narcissistic, fetishizing white bitch preying on black dick. That's what I'm going to do. That's what emotionally ignorant motherfuckers do. So I understand why the majority are on the side of Twitch's family and their behavior and their reaction and response to all of this. Because most people are just as emotionally dense and ridiculous and absurd as the family is. Most people carry themselves and act just how the fuck Twitch's family act. The Nike shoebox knew more than they all did. And here it is, they're trying to find a villain in Gotham to blame. The fucking Journal knew more than they all did. And here it is, they're pointing the goddamn finger. Hey Royce, hey boo. Y'all make sure to subscribe to my panelists YouTube channel, girl. The Royce Reed, baby. The House of Royce, baby. He says, Royce says, hey CTV, hey everyone, child, you speaking the gospel tonight. The Nike box knew more about him than his wife, brother, and the mama. Oh, how I praise dance. And this is the difference between emotional intelligence, processing information and feelings, not being governed by them, but looking for the information within the way you feel, and knowing the difference between the way you feel and the reality. Okay? Most people are front and center with the family, team family, because they're just as emotionally small and dense as they are. And she can do whatever she wants. That's the gag. She can drop his motherfucking name. She can move on after 2-3 years. She can write a motherfucking memo. She can move to Belize and she can transition to a man for all I give a fuck. She can do exactly what Twitch did. Make her own motherfucking choice without concern. Because what's good for the goose is good for the gander. And if they don't have no smoke for Twitch, who put them all in this situation, they don't have no motherfucking heat for Allison. Because he made the most extreme and violent choice in this whole matter that not only changed his life, it changed everybody else is connected to him. And if you can respect that and keep your mouth closed about that and not judge that, then certainly you can keep your motherfucking judgment to yourself about the way this white bitch moved as a result of being a victim of her husband's choice. Because if there's anybody to be crucified in this matter, it is to be Twitch. Even though I personally don't endorse finding a villain at all in this situation, because when it comes to self-deletion, really what you have is a community of victims. Nobody is really the bad guy. There's only things to learn and understand rather than things to shame and condemn. And I hate that this is the way this is being dealt with, because this is not about blame. This is an opportunity for this family to deepen their self-awareness, to learn from the silent suffering of their loved one, to hopefully look for these telltale signs in their own children and their own fucking spouses and their own goddamn friends. There is a great deal of wealth and wisdom in this circumstance that's being overlooked for people to instead personify their rage and frustrations and projections onto. They're missing all of the substance in this situation. And to be honest, it seems like Allison is the only one attempting to do the motherfucking work to make and create substance out of her affliction, to transmute this dark shit into some type of light and love and insight. And speaking of that, what we're going to do is move right into her interview with People. What? Hold on, wait. Let me see if the brother is finished. Let me see if the brother is finished with this post here. Let me see if he got more to say. Okay, he's showing. All right. The person that he's sharing the post from goes on to say, for too long, I stayed silent, quietly supporting the family, even as I watched this all unfold. Signing NDAs under the guise of protecting his name only enabled you to twist the narrative. But now enough is enough. Since Stephen's passing, your actions have been nothing short of questionable. Within 48 hours, you changed your last name from Boss back to Holker on Instagram, hired a defense attorney, and altered your story about Stephen's whereabouts. What is the purpose of all of this? What good does it do to disrespect Stephen's family, especially his mother? I've heard the conversations firsthand, the disrespect, the dismissal, the unbelievable behavior toward the woman who gave him life. How could someone who claims to love him treat his family this way? I'm going to tell you why. But also, I'm going to need some receipts. Yabba dabba doo. And I also don't give a fuck about Allison changing her name, because anybody who's educated on grief knows that people disassociate profoundly. Disassociate profoundly, especially under the circumstances of self-deletion. The woman is widowed, for God's sake. Her husband was raped from her life overnight. He didn't die of old age. He didn't die and have a deathbed experience. He was here one day and literally not here another. As somebody who experienced this, because I was the last person to see my mother alive. She died from an aneurysm. She didn't die by suicide, but I was the last one to see her alive. I was the last one to see any lick of consciousness in her before we arrived to the hospital, because I had to call the ambulance to intervene in what was transpiring. And she was then completely brain dead and on a ventilator. The extremity of somebody that you've known, somebody that you have a close and emotionally, mentally intimate relationship to be here one day and then to be gone the next, and it not be under the circumstances of a situation that you allowed to process death in, like a deathbed experience. People have all type of ridiculous, incongruent coping mechanisms around that. Some people do greatly disassociate. And I would assume that as a woman who was married for almost 10 years, carried 2 kids for this man, would have been in grave, profound agony. And we're doing all type of shit to cope and to treat that agony, including disassociate by changing her last name. Nobody wants to be in agony. And people will over-medicate. People will do drugs. People will do all type of destructive shit. Ask people who got trauma. All of the extreme shit they did to treat their trauma. Ask people who treated their loneliness and sadness and their madness with risky, self-destructive behavior. Ask them. There are 1 trillion books and memoirs out here. There are 1 trillion testimonies all over YouTube from people who almost fucked up their lives entirely by self-medicating and treating trauma associated with poverty, childhood trauma, sexual assault, divorce, childhood bullying, the loss of a child. Some people have even taken their fucking lives as a result of their trauma. So changing your last name is hardly the most extreme thing that I'm aware of that people will do to treat their trauma. That's the least. People have done far worse and more extreme than change their last goddamn name in order to disassociate from the person who's connected to a painful reality. She didn't want to be Allison Boss, because Allison Boss was the widow. Allison Boss was the one who had no idea why the fuck her husband was here just a few hours ago and is no longer on this earth a few hours later. Allison Boss is lost, confused, and in pain. Allison Holker is not. Yeah, psychologically, that makes a lot of motherfucking sense to me. Now, to the family's point, there could be foul play here. Could be. My issue with the foul play narrative, that Allison is a user, Allison is this, Allison is that, Allison is blah, 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 blah. Once again, as an emotionally intelligent, mature individual, I would have let this play out a little bit longer. And I would have really coangled as much evidence to support my personal narrative before I blew the lid off my family this way. Before I did what I'm accusing Allison of doing to those kids. Before I doubled down and joined her in that destructive energy. If I was going to do that, I was going to do that on purpose. And with purpose. And with clarity. And I personally would have spent my time galvanizing all of my evidence to support whatever it is that my truth is. And I would have allowed this book situation to play out more too. To see really where it's going. I would have had to process all of that properly. Because just like they want her to believe that her actions impact people outside of her, so do all of theirs. Their actions are just as impactful as hers is on these kids that they claim they love. And I don't give a fuck that the matriarch greenlit everybody else to be on a bullshit, because half the times the matriarchs of family is just the head of dysfunctionality they damn self. They the main cause, bitch, for why there's so much intergenerational transference of trauma and fuckery in the goddamn family. Most of the goddamn time, the matriarch ain't no goddamn better than anybody else in the motherfucking situation. Just a glamorized, pedestalized, dysfunctional bitch like everybody else. Half the time. Half the time. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. Because, see, I'm not playing with y'all asses for 2025, baby. Too much fuck shit transpiring. People need to grow the fuck up and keep their head on a goddamn swivel. Raise their level of decorum. Raise their level of understanding. And apply the pressure to themselves. Did I read all this? I did. All right, so let's see where it goes. This person goes on to say, when Stephen passed, I heard the devastating news from everyone but you. I messaged, I called, and was left on red to this day. And see, here we go. You have put the pressure on a woman experiencing devastating trauma in her life to have prioritizing speaking to your raggedy, ugly ass, bitch. Like, and this is oftentimes while people in trouble shut down, just like Twitch did. And I'm going to be honest. seeing how this friend, the brother, the mama, and everybody else is handling the situation, I completely understand why this man did not share the most intimate aspects of his interpersonal reality when not nail one of they gutter snipe asses from right up out of the hood. And it's because they're all profoundly selfish as fuck. I'm going to tell you what the data is I'm extracting from the way this is all being handled. Is that these are a people you can't even talk to and share without making it about them. These are a people that revolve everything around them and not you. And let's go back a little bit to the brother who admitted that Twitch allegedly confided in him about not wanting to allegedly remain with Allison. But yet, because the brother has a philosophy, because of the brother's ideal around family, around love, encourage his brother to remain with this woman he now wants us all to believe is a white she-devil. Think about how selfish that is. You gonna tell us that your brother came to you and was practically clarified in the fact that he was miserable, sad, and unfulfilled in his marriage. And instead of you affirming him and encouraging him to do what he needed to do to be happy, to possibly get with a therapist, to help him to continue to unpack his feelings, to make sure that he was sure about dissolving his marriage, you made it about you. You made it about what you thought should happen, what you thought he should do. This is these type of motherfucking people. No wonder Twitch did not open up to nobody. Because everybody only thinks about their motherfucking selves around him. No wonder he suffered in silence. And look at this raggedy bitch talking about on the day she heard that this woman lost her damn wife. Lost her husband. The audacity of Allison to not have found the wherewithal and the priority to speak back to her raggedy ass. Girl, you people are fucking sick. And I know y'all don't know that because y'all incubated into a nest and a matrix of other foul, sick, emotionally dense ass people. But y'all people are sick, baby. Y'all are the kind of motherfuckers I run from. Y'all are the kind of motherfuckers, baby, I would divorce in the quickness, baby. Divorce the whole goddamn family. The audacity to have thought that you mattered in a moment of profound and iconic despair is literally the narcissism of it all. I'm so sorry, bitch. I didn't text you and confirm that my husband has blew his goddamn brains out. I was only grieving. I was only comforting my children. I was only trying to pick myself up off the goddamn floor, bitch. I am so sorry that I was not paying attention to a text message or a missed call. I am so sorry, baby, that in the middle of my goddamn storm, in the eye of my goddamn Titanic, bitch, I did not corroborate that Twitch checked into a goddamn hotel that he called ahead of time to confirm if they had any available rooms to, and sat there and decided to take his motherfucking life. I'm just so sorry. I'm so sorry, baby. I am so sorry. I could not text you back. I am so sorry, girl. I could not call you back. I was only tied up with police and investigators. I was only dealing with the news myself. So sorry, bitch. She goes on. You didn't even tell me about the funeral. Girl, you another one who didn't deserve to be there. I had to assert myself to ensure I was there because the family and our closest friends wanted me by their side. Yeah, something that grieving people do. They don't have enough wherewithal to carry you, bitch. They barely carrying themselves. When people are grieving, people are in pain, that's actually the community's role to come in and to uphold said individual. Hold on, let me change my live stream. Baby, I'm about damn 30 minutes late for my next live. Hold on, y'all. Let me change the time on this next live stream real quick. Hold on. Let me change the goddamn time on this shit. Because we're going to be here for a minute. Let me see here. I'm going to change this to 8:30. Yeah, but I'm so sorry that grieving ass people, baby, don't have the capacity to know, to focus on who the hell need to be invited, bitch, or anything, bitch. It's called grief. Girl, and this is sad that people do not understand the functionality of grief. Stephen and I shared a bond that was genuine, honest, and unshakable, and yet wasn't a bond that allowed you to know firsthand that he had been molested by a male member of his community as a child, and a relationship that did not allow you to know that he had drug paraphernalia in his Nike box, and an unshakable bond that did not afford your ass to be informed firsthand, that he had been dealing with wanting to take his goddamn life. How genuine, how honest, and how unshakable. Since his death, I've watched his children be isolated from an entire side of the family. My heart aches for them because they deserve love, unity, and the full picture of who their father was. I still have hope that reconciliation is possible, but calling out the truth is necessary for that to happen, bitch. You ain't calling out no truth. You calling out your feelings, bitch. Your frail ass warped perception. And I find it interesting that you said that the kids deserve love, unity, and the full picture of who their father was. If their father was a struggling, manic depressant individual who occasionally treated his condition and trauma with drugs, that is a part of the full picture. See, that's the problem, is Allison is capable of enduring the full picture of her husband. Stephen's family only wants to maintain the image and the mask he wore. And that's the principle and the baseline of this conflict and division between the bosses and the Holkers. Allison is doing the hard, deep down, raw, ugly shadow work of trying to interpret the fullness and the entirety of Stephen, while the family only wants to uphold and protect and pedestalize the mask he wore for all of them. And it's very telling that none of them are rushing to take a look at the possible reality like Allison is. And the fact that they are committed to protecting their image and the image and mask of Stephen lets me know that they all also walk around practicing half-truths. They live in dual reality themselves, which is not uncommon for us as a black and brown folk. Because that's what this new generation of millennials is breaking up. Secrecy, denial. This is what's separating our generation of blackness from our parents and their parents and their parents' generational cultural practices of blackness. Is that we can take a look, we can take a listen, and we can be honest about the things that generations of black people prior to us could not. And we've been having conversations over the last 10 years as a black and brown people, as millennials, about the way that we all have been demonized in our Black families when we attempted to be the Allisons of the family, when we attempted to be the Allison Holkers of the family, when we attempted to call a thing a motherfucking thing, when we attempted to confront the substance and the root, when we attempted to talk about the reality of who the fuck daddy was, mama was, and were met with the witch hunt the same way. See, bitch, I know all too well how it feels to be an Allison. And I know so many other revolutionary ass niggas who were treated the same way, baby, when they attempted to paint the full picture and to make it motherfucking clear. When they attempted to get the community to do the real work by dealing with the reality and the truth. But as all of us truth seekers and truth tellers know all too well is, the community that claims they are a principled people who loves and indulges in the justice provided by that which is true and factual actually are a bunch of fucking hypocrites who prefer their mask, who prefer their veils, who prefer their personas, who prefer their motherfucking images, which is why you got so many broke ass niggas living in the hood with 6-figure, 7-figure ass vehicles in the parking lot. Which is why you got bitches living in all types of goddamn poverty, eating oodles and noodles and feeding their babies beanies and weenies every goddamn day, walking out of the goddamn apartment door, out of the projects in Gooey Lucci Prada for a motherfucking image. Which is why you got so many content creators who so full of themselves, baby, that they will go and buy subscribers, buy views, instead of doing the motherfucking work, all in order to keep up with the goddamn Joneses. The motherfucking mask and the veil of it all. Oh, baby, I know all too well what it feels like to be an Allison Holker. Baby. I know all too well this dynamic here, baby. I know all too well this pathology here. I know all too well this cause and effect here. I know all too well what this is. Let's continue to look at this piece. See what else they got to say, child. Oh, baby, she had a lot to say. Stephen and I, along with several others, got matching tattoos. I be real, I be ever. It was a bond that symbolized loyalty, love, and unity, keeping us locked in no matter what. That's the kind of person Stephen was, and yet he took his motherfucking life away from all of y'all. Didn't even tell you he loved you before he went to God. Didn't even tell you why he was ready to go to God. What type of fucking locked in are you talking about, baby? Stephen action just told the truth about the relationship all y'all actually had with him, while y'all living in La La Land. Stephen's actions just exposed the truth about the relationship y'all all had with him, baby, while y'all are still doubling down on how unshakable, how unbreakable, how honest, and how locked in well, baby, because he locked his ass into a casket, bitch, while you're talking about a locked in ass relationship to a man who couldn't even tell you his most painful of secret that was corroding at his inner man. These people are fucking delusional. They are absolutely delusional and out of their motherfucking minds. Out of their goddamn minds. Shout out to my baby mother, Kathy, for the nasty child support check. Preach, King, preach. Thank you, baby. Y'all know all donation information is in the description box below. What locked in? What unshakable? Look at, I just want y'all to take a inventory of the denial being practiced here. The denial that's so loud and outside. How disconnected and deaf tone these motherfucking people are. That's the kind of person Stephen was, someone who valued those connections deeply. To see that the bond disrespected in how you've handled his legacy is beyond heartbreaking. But yet his actions were not equally, if not more disrespectful to his legacy. Stephen took his life. Stephen did that to his legacy. Stephen, as a public figure who knew that when his body would be found, would go up into all of the headlines and be a shock around the world, decided to include self-deletion into his goddamn legacy. And a Nike box full of drug paraphernalia, baby, is not worse than him taking his motherfucking life. A box full of drug paraphernalia is not a bigger stain on his legacy, baby, than the fact that he claimed his own motherfucking life. There is nothing that can equally contend to his choice to take his goddamn life. So if anybody ruined Stephen's legacy, it was Stephen. If anybody decided that they don't give a damn about the legacy, it was Stephen, who decided to abort his legacy prematurely. Who decided to get up out of that legacy by all means motherfucking necessary, while y'all are still trying to hold him to a life he didn't even want to live. Y'all are trying to make something important in Stephen's life that Stephen's actions says otherwise about. He don't feel how the fuck y'all feel about his legacy. He don't feel how y'all feel about his work, about his art, about his life. That's why he did what the fuck he did. And if he cared about what would remain of his legacy, what he would have did was clear that goddamn closet of that diary and that Adidas box, so that there would be no drug paraphernalia nor any molestation to be spoken of in his absence, bitch. That's what would have happened. I'm not saying that Allison is some goddamn Mother Teresa. I don't know the motherfucking insides and the outs. But what I do know, baby, is that all this behavior is completely inappropriate, and I can see how disjointed and disconnected all these motherfuckers are on Stephen's side is from the actual reality. And this is very bizarre to me. Very bizarre. Stephen was one of the most mindful, respectful. How are you going to even use the word loyal in a man who took his own life? Don't you know that that is the complete opposite of loyalty? You can't even use the word loyal anymore in talking about someone who chose themselves in the end and chose themselves only. If he was loyal, he would be here today. If he was loyal, he would have walked not to a motel room to take his life, but he would have walked to a psychiatric hospital to be evaluated and to be administered into a facility for further treatment. If he were loyal, he would have gotten himself help. That's what his loyalty would have brought him to do. Not to look his wife in the eyes, look his children in the eyes, look over in his mind and see the faces of his relatives and decide to take his motherfucking life, to take his love, and to take his beingness away from the people that loved him the most, which is all of y'all. And see, that's the truth y'all can't bring yourselves to accept. That's the reality and the ugliness and the darkness of Twitch's actions that y'all can't bring yourselves because y'all not ready yet. Y'all frail, y'all broken, and y'all tell yourselves things that are not true in order to justify horrendous and terrible ass behavior. And then have the audacity to make a villain out of the person that carried both of his children and loved him for almost an entire goddamn decade. If I was Allison, I would sue all of you motherfucking hoes for defamation. I would sue every last one of you motherfuckers for emotional distress and defamation. Oh, yes, I would, baby. Don't let the proceeds from this book, bitch, be in the millions, because if I was Holker, baby, the class action lawsuit against you motherfuckers would be coming down the line faster than this, bitch. Because I heard that you were, in fact, looking for me. It goes on to say, if the roles were reversed, he would never exploit personal battles or share intimate details of someone he loved, especially not for profit or attention. But yet he shared that he wanted to allegedly leave his wife, not with his wife, but with his brother. And then his brother had the audacity to do exactly what y'all are accusing Allison of doing, which is exploit that information. Because his brother is not here to defend himself against those allegations. Once again, this is what's interesting when you're in a community where people are not practicing the principle of holding one another accountable. Where you make the exception for one person's badass behavior and then put your foot down on the neck of another person's behavior because you just don't like them. It can be speculated that she was fucking what she want. Because once Steven decided to make her ass single again, she could jump on a dick 15 minutes later if that's what would have made her feel better. I don't give a fuck about how quick she might have moved on. I don't give a damn what her motives might have been, because that's all that there is a bunch of might-haves, a bunch of speculations. Once he made her ass single, if she wanted dick in her ass, puss, and throat 10 minutes afterwards, baby, that's what he had set her ass free to do. So I don't give a fuck about what she did following being set free. I don't care. Not me. I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck about what she did in her freedom. I don't care. It's a dick you ain't had to ride. It's a dick you ain't had to suck. And it's a man your black ass didn't have to bury. And if he didn't want her on no dick, he would have kept that GUN from his head and remained a married man. If it mattered what the hell she did afterwards, he would have kept his ass alive to ensure what decision she would have been making just a few weeks and a few days later. So if Twitch didn't give a fuck about leaving a bitch behind to be dicked down by another motherfucker, why the fuck should I? Why the fuck should I? If he didn't care enough to keep his ass alive to ensure that his wife was only throwing pussy for him, why in the hell should I give a fuck? Because I don't give a fuck about nothing that Steven Twitch Boss Jr. III don't give a fuck about. If it mattered, if it was relevant, all more reasons why he would be here today. But guess what? He's not. at all. Moving along. It goes on to read, love means protecting those battles, even in the depth and carrying their struggles as your own, not using them as a platform. Shut up, bitch. Okay? Let's see if there's more, girl. More damn Comfort Luther King, baby. All right. Read the caption, share the reel.
So y'all remember when I said in my last video, go look at what Comfort posted? Do y'all know who Comfort is? A big player in the entertainment. My bro Steve was like this since.
All right, so that's what the brother had to say. Now let's get into this People motherfucking magazine, child. All right. This covered by Fair Use, and Allison Holker opens up about Stephen Twitch's boss' death. He was hiding so much. Covered by Fair Use for research commentary purposes. Let me find my Fair Use disclaimer here. Let me find my Fair Use disclaimer, child. All right, let's take a look at Allison, child.
I'm starting this new chapter.
Let me change over my mic, actually.
Really going to be finding the best version of who I am, and not the best version of who I was with Steven or with my past traumas even before Steven, outside of being a mom, outside of being a career woman, outside of writing a book, outside of this. Like, who am I out? Who am I just existing right now? Our anniversary weekend was right before everything happened. And it's so interesting when I look back, because now there are little signs, but when we were in the moment, everything was beautiful. We had chose to go stay in Laguna Beach, and we chose that because Wesley was having a soccer tournament out there, and we wanted to go see her, and everything was blissful, and we were watching, the soccer games and eating room service and going to have drinks together and going to museums. We bought a sculpture together, and everything was great. We drove there, and then we drove home, and I had no clue. And I think that's the confusion that I've always been left with, because I'm not going to have closure. My kids aren't going to have closure, because it's very confusing when you think everything's wonderful. But then then you look back and you're like, oh, maybe that was a sign. But that's also still something I'm still trying to process and understand myself, which is why therapy is wonderful. But for real, it's interesting, because there were no signs at that moment for me. I didn't know. And even the days coming home, I remember when we got home, we made a dance video. There was a dance video that he actually wanted to do. He wanted to do it either every Sunday or every Monday before Christmas as a family. And we did it. And I was reading a story to my kids that night, and we had dinner, there weren't signs. Wesley is so strong, but having someone say last words to you that you didn't really process at the time as being anything wrong, as dramatic as she had to deal with the words that I believe it was, I wanted to be your Superman, or I wish I could be your Superman. That's really hard to hear, especially as a teenager, and look back on everything. And she still goes to that same school where he dropped her off and said those words. But I'm also really proud of her for sticking it through and facing it every single day when she goes to school. And she handles it with far more grace than she should have to. But we took the steps to really help her and communicate with her and make her feel seen and heard in it. And I think she also sees those words as something beautiful and also ugly. It's a battle that she's going to always have with herself. But I know
and that's a battle that Stephen Twitch boss left for his children to have, not Allison.
See it for both sides.
It's just so interesting to me that Allison can take up more space in the mind of her critics aka his family and friends, than Steven's decision does. I just find it completely and utterly insincere that there's all this conversation around the kids, and yet they think nothing of the fact that Steven took his own life, completely disrupting his children's whole lives. There is nothing that Allison can do that is equal in destructiveness to Steven's choice, aside from making the same choice. Nothing. There's nothing she can do that will equal the impact of Steven's choice, aside from making the very same choice. And I just find it very interesting that Steven does not get to be, if there is going to be a villain, the villain in the situation, but Allison is. Wow.
Would think about my husband at the time, I would think, oh, I love that Twitch is such a great performer, but then when he comes home, he feels safe enough to be Steven. Twitch was extremely extroverted. Steven was introverted. Twitch loved to be the light in everyone's lives, and then Steven liked to hide away. Those are very two different personalities that were battling each other any given day. And we would talk about that in interviews, that he very much admitted that that was going on. And I think as I was with him for so long, and that's how he's been the entire relationship, I was like, it's a beautiful thing that he can be both. But then when you start stepping away from the new fact of what's happened, I look at that, I was like, wait, what if I would have made him feel safe, or with therapy, he could have felt safe to be him all the time? And what if he felt safe being this one individual that has different kind of energies, but you don't have to be a completely different person and put them aside from each other? I wish in that part of my life with him that he would have felt comfortable asking for help, wanting to go to therapy, wanting to talk to his friends or loved ones or people he felt comfortable with about what he was really feeling. But I think he was always so strong for everyone. He wanted to continue to be that. And that's what I've learned the most, is that even for myself, I've had some major lows, you know, as I'm trying to figure this out and navigate this myself. And I'm very scared to ask for help. And I'm learning how much strength it actually shows me.
All too relatable. Her and Twitch both suffered from the strong person syndrome. And that's a real syndrome, baby. I am 39 years old, and it wasn't until just a year ago that I gave myself permission to acknowledge my needs and what I wanted from others, and gave myself permission to advocate for myself. That just happened like 2 years ago. And I'll be 40 this year. Because like the Stevens and the Allisons, I've always been the superhero in everybody else's story and suffered from a weird sense of self-image when it came to having needs. Felt like I was making myself unattractive and unappealing if I had a need, if I had a vulnerability, a sensitivity, if I needed a hug, if I needed words of affirmation. I just now, the last 2 years of my life, have given myself permission to honor my humanity, to find and accept that I too am human despite my super. I am superhuman. I'm super and I'm human. And give myself permission to have a full humanity, which includes my vulnerabilities, which includes my needs, which includes a reasonable meeting of those needs. And that's not only healthy for me to embrace, it's also healthy for my community, because it gives them an opportunity to actually be a goddamn community to me. as I am to them. But if you haven't gotten clarified and you haven't been able to empower yourself by accepting your humanity, you continue to live and suffer in silence. And you tell yourself all type of destructive things that don't help in the silencing of your suffering. And you grow a profound discomfort upon reaching out for others. You tell yourself you are a burden. You tell yourself nobody cares. You're scared that nobody will see you as strong anymore. There's all type of intrusive thinking that happens in the mind of those who operate as a pillar for their families, for their communities, for their friends, etc. Having to dismantle that and having to undo that is a real thing, because that's a real self-sabotaging program that operates in a lot of strong people's minds. And it's not the easiest thing to do.
I had to stand up for yourself and ask for help. And
it's to give up your image and the expectations of everybody else for your reality.
Finally lean on someone. You know, I know for me, for the last 2 years, I felt like I wanted to get my kids through everything. I want to get my family through everything. And I want to get all my friends and all the fans and all these people that loved our family so much. I wanted to make sure I could carry them and get them through it. And then I realized, well, wait, I haven't taken a moment to also heal myself. And so it's like, I'm learning that what he experienced, I want to be an example of now and show other people they can do it. I had dealt with an ex that had addiction problems, and then I realized Steven had addiction problems, and it's something that I kind of have been like, what, where was I involved in this? And I had to take some steps for myself to realize, like, you know,
Okay, so let me talk about this part real here. Steven having some addiction problems. That semantics is got Steven's family and friends in a chokehold. I don't think Allison meant addiction as addiction. I think she was speaking very colloquially, like just speaking as a person who knew that because if his brother and his friends knew that he utilized weed, she at the very least knew he used weed, which is not legal in every state and is still considered a drug in many states, and some people even consider weed a addiction, yet alone if you find other things, shrooms, mushrooms, pills, and potions of all types of kind. But I'm not sure if I believe she meant addiction as an addiction more so than she was just making reference to the possible reality of drug usage. All right. Now let's unpack that even further. She's claiming she found a Nike box full of drug paraphernalia. Steven either was a drug dealer, a drug user, and or a drug addict. Now those are all different things. Drug dealers don't necessarily do the drugs they're selling, they're dealing. Drug using can be someone who uses occasionally, who uses drugs socially, who uses drugs when they need a break, when they need a release, when they want to have a good time. All right? So they can have bouts and periods of usage, but not a practice of daily usage, which makes them not an addict, but an user. And then you have the addiction itself. Somebody who is profoundly codependent upon drug usage. Now, there was a toxicology report on Stephen. He was found to not have any drugs or alcohol in his system at the time. That is the key word. It's at the time. Allison never knew this box existed. She never knew that these drugs existed. And she never knew that her husband had these drugs in his possession. So it can still be true that he might have been an addict at some point in his marriage to Allison. He could have been codependent upon drugs the year before his death, 2 years before his death, and might have preserved those drugs after he had to come to Jesus with himself, but put those drugs aside rather than throwing them out in case he wanted to use again. All right. He might have been recovering or might have been fasting from his addiction or challenging his addiction and codependency by the time he took his life, which is why his toxicology report came back clear of alcohol and drugs. All right, set addiction aside. Let's talk about drug usage. The man was in Hollywood, for God's sakes. He ran around with Ellen DeGeneres and other industry people and partied and attended events like everybody else. It's not surprising and uncommon for an industry individual to dilly-dab in drugs. So he could have had a party box for when he wanted to get lit. Okay? He could have did those drugs occasionally. Could have did those drugs socially. Could have did those drugs every now and again. The man is in Hollywood. Most people, whether they're models, dancers, choreographers, photographers, artists, singers, writers, producers, screenwriters, stage coordinators, talent scouts, are willing and typically open to doing Hollywood things, which are drugs. Doesn't necessarily make you an addict, but you occasionally get lit. How many hip-hop ass motherfuckers are glorifying Molly popping and pill popping all up and through music and call it getting lit? Trina did a Breakfast Club interview, the rapper, the baddest bitch, did an interview years ago when asked by Charlamagne about her and Khloe Kardashian's relationship. And she said, yeah, me and Khloe, we used to be real cool and girls. We ran the clubs and did drugs together. She verbatimly said that, did drugs together. Trina might not be a drug addict, but admitted to drug usage because that's what these spaces typically encompasses. Yes, Percocets, Molly's, Coke, weed, ecstasy, ice, all type of shit. That's not unusual. That's not groundbreaking reality that Twitch might have dilly-dabbed in drugs. And he either was an addict or was possibly a user. In either instance, it doesn't really matter the semantics because ultimately drugs were found on his persons. And instead of making that about Allison, make that about Twitch. And like Allison, use that revelation to attempt to understand Twitch's personality and what might have been going on with him, and to help give you more insight into his humanity, rather than to buck up against that and then generate a narrative that has to be a negative thing in this case. Because I don't necessarily think that doing drugs occasionally is per se a negative thing. There are very high functioning users. Okay? If you can use a drug that doesn't have too many fucked up ass side effects, and you can do those drugs responsibly without it taking away from your family life, without it taking away from your professional life, without it taking away from your lived experience, then baby, do what the fuck you do. Okay? Do what you do. If because you have an addictive personality type, you can't do drugs without being an addict and it fucking your shit up, then you somebody who need to stay away from drugs. Now, I personally don't think I don't prefer that people do drugs because I just think that it's just too much. That's too much 20 on 10. Okay? And people already weak as hell and unresolved in their humanity already for me to endorse drug usage, but I'm also mature enough to understand that you can do drugs and be functional, and that there are people who can do drugs without it costing them the quality of their life, without it impacting their life in a destructive way. And if that's something that a person can handle, then it is what it is. Everybody gets to pick their poison. Including weed. Yeah, I even when it comes to weed, because most people are codependent on weed too. Because my issue with the indulgence of drugs in the American culture is the fact that I can't believe we're getting into this level of discussion. This supposed to be a hot topics, girl. Y'all done turned this into I guess this is a hot topics. My issue with the way that Americans indulge in drugs is that they never use drugs, including weed and cannabis, which also have major spiritual and metaphysical capabilities. So does DMT, so does acid, so does ayahuasca, even ecstasy have very metaphysical components to them. But Americans do not use drugs in order to help them to repair and to access higher dimensional spaces, nor to access aspects of their unconscious that may be buried underneath trauma. They use drugs instead to deflect. They use drugs instead to deny. They use drugs instead to hide themselves from themselves. They use drugs to cope, not to heal. And drugs can be used to heal. Drugs can be used in a way that can lead to awakening and lucidity. Can be. But because of the way that the narratives are around drug phenomenon and practices, you never oftentimes see drugs used in a liberating fashion. You see it used as something that people can be dependent upon, and then you see the breakdown of their lives and the worsening of their condition as a result of their dependency. Yes, they use drugs to get high. They use drugs to get numb, to deny. They use drugs to disconnect. Now, you can do something powerful in your disconnectedness. To have the opportunity to have a chemical separate you from your immediate self and have you access a self that is without that pain, which is what people like about drugs. It numbs them to their trauma. There could be high medicinal usage in using a drug to access the you that's not in pain, the you that can exist separate from your trauma, from your fears, from your hurt, from your grievances. There are higher ways to use drugs, and there are significant things that can be done in that disassociation, in that temporary disconnectedness, if guided properly, if intentional in the dealing and using of drugs in that way, but oftentimes, once again, that's not the case. Americans just end up codependent as fuck instead. So there's all of that. Now, bringing it back to Twitch. Either was a dealer, either was a user, or either was an addict, or possibly all motherfucking three. I don't know. But the family doesn't necessarily have to interpret that as a bad thing. They need to use it as a point of revelation and information to further understand Twitch's choices and the way he lived and the way he might have and possibly treated the things he were dealing with, which were further corroborated by the things he had put in his journal. Sexual trauma, molestation, etc. Like she says, there were a lot of things she just did not know, baby. But that closet, it outed Twitch ass. But just like in the conversation around drugs, that information can be used in a righteous way. The family only has one attitude about all this information because they, unlike Allison, are interested in Twitch's mask. While Allison has allowed herself to be open and to receive without judgment Twitch's actual and full humanity. She's operating of a higher mind than them in this way.
I was able to help one, and I wish I could have been that for the other. But it's also not my job to do that. There was a moment I was with one of my really dear friends, and we were cleaning out the closet and picking out an outfit for him for the funeral. And it was a really triggering moment for me because there was a lot of things I discovered in our closet that I did not know existed. And it was...
Let me tell y'all, baby. Natural Honey says, CTV, you are the only one I've heard with this perspective. Wow. Y'all, I'm a real metaphysician. I'm an actual healer. I am a spiritualist. Okay? I am a paranormal investigator. I'm a supernaturalist. I combine human psychology with and merge that with spirituality and metaphysics. There's another term I'm looking for, though. A parapsychologist. I consider myself to be a parapsychologist. I merge spirituality and human psychology together as a concept. And in spiritualism, we use various things, oils, potions, chemicals. I have taken ayahuasca. I have been a part of rituals and ceremonies where DMT was used to help people to access higher realms, to get in touch with their higher selves, their higher minds. So and me having having diverse observations and experiences and seeing people under these same circumstances using these same type of chemicals, shrooms, mushrooms, etc. I'm just very aware of the productiveness of drug integration or chemical integration relative to its destructive side. But yes, chemicals have always been used in spiritualism. The prophets of the Bible used fasting, they used cannabis, they used herbs, they used chanting, dancing in order to synchronize the left and right hemispheres of the brain to induce altered states of consciousness. Witches have had mind-altering oils that they used in order to induce altered states, in order to astral project. So chemicals and drug usage has been almost hand in hand with religion, with spiritual development. You can find herbs and chemicals and compounds within the history of all major world religions and spirituality. So there is that other side of the conversation around drugs and how they can be productive, but that is based upon attitude and philosophy in terms of being able to use chemicals and drugs productively.
Very alarming to me to learn that there was so much happening that I had no clue. So it was a really scary moment in my life to figure that out, but it also helped me process that he was going through so much and he was hiding so much, and there must have been a lot of shame in that. And he was wrestling with a lot inside himself, and he was trying to
people asking, do I think if Allison and the family got along from the jump? More probably so. The family seems to be screaming about things that happened after Twitch's passing more so than things that happened prior. But it seems that there was some contention even prior, but that the bulk of the issues and contention started after his passing, and rightfully so, considering that he took his life under very weird, bizarre circumstances. I'm not surprised that it led to family drama and family breakdown. Anytime you have a left field event happen in a community, typically it has a destructive impact on community.
medicate and cope with all those feelings because he didn't want to put it on anyone, because he loved everyone so much. He didn't want any other people to take on his pain. But it was very alarming and scary to find those things and have never known. I have been trying to release all this anger this whole time, and I thought for a moment I thought if you would have asked me 6 months ago, I thought I'd release all the anger out towards Steven. And I am now learning that you're always going to have triggers. There's always going to be a moment when I get really sad or really angry, or have a new thing I find out and get really confused, or like I said, like an aha moment of like, oh, how did I not know that before? And then I realized that's all a part of healing. And it's about creating tools that are healthy enough for you to get through those triggers. And that's where I'm at now, as I'm trying to make sure, even if I hit a low, if I hit something really hard, I just can channel it and realize it and fix it. One of my really good friends, she was over at my home right after everything had happened with Steve.
Okay, now it was interesting. Okay, so what I found interesting is that she admitted to anger, which are a part of the 5 stages of grief and grieving, which is anger. That might have been why she dropped her last name. She was mad as hell. She either wanted to disassociate or she was angry, rightfully so. Most people who initially experienced the death of a loved one deal with shock, then deal with anger, sadness, etc. And then, you upstream from there. So she went through all of those bouts. And because she's a public figure, people were afforded to see some of the ways in which she navigated, which for the social media world have been things that are now being used against her to imply that she had malicious intent or ulterior motive, or she had another agenda, when the other attitude is that y'all could have just been watching a woman navigate the complexity of grief, which does include denial. It includes shock. It includes disassociation. It includes anger. It includes all these things. She's going to speak about how there was conversations on why she did not share a lot of pictures of Steven after his passing and all of this. So she's going to get into all that.
And she told me I should document everything. And I was like, why would I document everything? She goes, it's going to be important for you to share your story one day. And so from that moment on, I just randomly would jot notes in my phone, even though I'd be crying and I'd be so sad. But I was like, this might be important one day, or even to share it with.
And that friend she's talking about, I believe it's a friend that's now outing her. Because I think that friend said in her post, not the friend today, but I think there was another friend, or maybe it's the same girl. But yesterday we had went over statements from the friend that claimed she was at the house when I guess Allison had got the news and everything. That friend is now jumping out of the window on Allison and, you know, talking shit and this is disgraceful and blah, 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 blah. But I think she's referring to that girl.
Kids one day, the experience that we went through, because my youngers, they might not remember.
And it's funny how that friend didn't tell this side of the story. While she's talking about, oh, you told Allison to chronicle things, to document everything, because she might want to look over the stuff or use this stuff later on in her life to better understand or to reflect or to journal or to even possibly write a fucking book. Baby, okay, that's interesting that she didn't tell that part of the story while she was dragging the fuck out of Allison.
Certain details and things. So I started jotting things down, but it is interesting when you're on this healing journey, and the journey that I've been on is things were being discovered or new things, or I was having new aha moments. So I would be writing this book and then have to be like, wait, go back. This is different for me now. Or I just realized this for the first time. And it was kind of like therapy for me. And I looked at myself all the time in the mirror. I was like, wow, like I'm feeling better, but then things are also getting harder with it. So it was just a constant battle with myself. But at the end of the day, I'm really proud that I did it. And I'm really proud of what work has been put out. And I hope one day that my kids can look at it, my friends and family can look at it. I really want to come out with this book because I've had so much support around me for years, around me, around my family. And so many people feel like they know who I am and they look to us and they lean on us. And I've always loved that our family is like kind of this example of love and joy and light. And that is true. And we want to continue to be that. And we really do feel that in our home and with each other and with our friends. But I did think it was important for me to share my full story with the audience, to share that there have been a lot of low times, or I've had to deal with things that have helped me to become the person I am. And I'm still going through things, and they've been really big, dramatic things and things I've had to really push myself forward with. And I wanted to share that with them, to see that, like, yes, I want to be that beacon of love and joy, but it's taken a lot of hard work. And I've gone through a lot of trials, and I've had a lot of, you know, trauma and grief in my life. And it's been a choice to get myself through it. But I've also recently learned I can't do it alone. I have to get help from other people. And so I hope that this book can be a beacon of hope for people to see that if you're having a low day, lean on someone and you can get that help to get better. Have that hard conversation. Have that look at your friend's eyes and be honest with.
Okay, so that's her intent for this book, is to use it to help other people, to be transparent, to ask for help. You don't have to always be strong. She's taking the way she's lived, the way that Stephen has lived, as a way to hopefully encourage people to be better in their interpersonal relationships with self and to other people. And all the proceeds from her book are going to go toward her mental health nonprofit organization as well. One more thing I want to say, y'all can check out the rest of the interview over on People's channel, is that, you know, I don't know the circumstances really around why she allegedly is keeping the kids from the family. But as I alluded to yesterday, and I thought about it today, this woman found her husband's journal. And if this man chronicled his sexual abuse in his journal, it means that he was being very transparent and trusted in the confidentiality of his journal. With that being said, only God knows what else the hell was there in the journal. For all we know, what Allison also discovered in his journal were the feelings he was harboring about his marriage. Maybe he admitted in his journal he was not in love with her, but loved her. Maybe he admitted in his journal he had affairs. I mean, God only fucking knows what is in this journal. But if he was being that transparent with it, as she said, there are a lot of things she learned. If he chronicled his sexual abuse, could Twitch have also struggled with his sexuality? Could he have had feelings toward the same sex. These could have all been things that also helped her ass to definitely start moving forward, okay? Depending on the details of that journal, which were reflections of his innermost thoughts about himself and things. There may have also been things in that journal about his family. This male who allegedly abused him when he was a young boy could have been a member of his family. I don't know what Twitch expressed about his family. He might have acknowledged some very dark things about his family, about things that's happened to him, things that have been done to him. And for all I know is that those things might have in fact altered or given Allison pause. I don't know. Anything could be going on in this situation. I think that in all that she more than likely learned, I'm glad that she's not making the entire goddamn journal available, but she's only going to use what she believes is necessary in helping to better understand Twitch and some of the things that he might have been dealing with, and to use him and her as a catalyst to help other people to understand that they're not alone, and to understand what the impact of living in secrecy and living in unresolved trauma can do, which is lead to self-deletion. It can lead to a lot of bad behavior, drug usage. It could lead to the breakdown of an entire family, etc. I like the idea for the book. I like testimonials. I like underdog stories. I'm somebody who is in love with the truth. So for me, I don't have a problem with the truth. And even with Twitch, if it is that he's a drug addict, for me, that does not take away from Twitch. It just means that Twitch is a man and a human being like everybody else. He's not a fucking robot. He's not artificial intelligence. He's not anime. He's not a goddamn cartoon character. He's a person. And that just adds to his humanity for me. Now, this is the woman he chose to marry. In that, he gave her right to both of their life story. He gave her right to her own story, which also includes him. It's also the woman he chose to leave via suicide. He doesn't get a right of say now. And Stephen made that choice. I don't blame that on Allison. I'm very clear about who the author is of these circumstances. I'm very clear about the decision that was made that birthed all of this adversity within their family. I'm very clear about that. If it comes out, anything of substance comes out as it relates to Allison, we will deal with that. But those things are going to have to come out. I'm not interested right now in, well, word on the curb, she might have been cheating. I don't give a fuck. If something of substance is provided, then we will deal with that. As of right now, my attitude still remains. All her actions make sense as a grieving woman. And if she has withheld her children, I can understand that, because this person, this family has jumped out of the goddamn window off of a bunch of assumptions without even an attempt to understand, empathize, compassion. And I'm sure that this behavior is not isolated to the circumstances around the book. It's been some nasty shit going on behind the scenes too. They've been talking shit behind the scenes too. They've been being microaggressive behind the scenes too. Okay? There's always two sides to every story. L'Oreal says, so you're blaming Twitch. I'm holding him accountable for his decision. Okay? Because if Twitch is not to blame, then neither is Allison. Okay? In the context of speaking about everybody pointing the finger, if there is going to be a finger to be pointed, it needs to be pointed at the person who made the decision, not the person who is surviving Twitch's decisions, which is his family, friends, his wife, and his children. Okay? If there is going to be a blame. Because none of this would be happening if it wasn't for his choices. And if you don't want to judge Twitch, then you damn sure have the capacity to not also judge Allison. Because if you can respect his decision to remove himself from his children and his wife, then you can respect his wife for moving on however the fuck she so sees fit to move the fuck along. So what I'm really petitioning is don't be a hypocrite and keep that same goddamn energy. Because if you can respect him and his choice, then you can respect Allison's choice and what she's had to do to be well for herself and to make sure that her children are well. Okay? Very simple. Very 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Very much so ABC 1, 2, 3, baby. Hooked on phonics shit. This ain't even heavy work, baby. This light work. Light work. Okay? So that concludes our hot topics. I want to go to one more thing. You guys know that LA is burning the fuck down to the goddamn ground. Everybody done lost their damn home, from Tina Knowles to Ricky Lake to my girl Heidi and Spencer from Laguna Beach. Plethora of celebrities have lost historical buildings that have been burnt down. Whole goddamn neighborhoods are in ruins. And unfortunately, this sad 66-year-old California man also died defending his family home from Eaton fires, reportedly found dead with the garden hose in his goddamn hand. Let me refresh this. Check this out.
Of this fire, one of the 5 victims, we were able to identify that person earlier this evening. I talked with his sister. We want to roll some.
I don't give a damn about if Twitch was a black woman and blah 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 blah, bitch. I don't know what everybody else gonna say to you, L'Oreal, but I know I have said what the fuck I've said. I've said it. I've said what I've said. And you ain't gotta like it, you ain't gotta love it, and bitch, I don't even need you to respect it either. Thank you for your click and your review. You are entitled to feel how you feel, but I have said exactly what I've said. And if I need to come back tomorrow and report on it, I'm going to say some motherfucking more. Okay? Because before I take it back, bitch, I'll add more to it. All right? You just worry about the way you feel. Because I'm very clear about the way I feel. And the Conscious Crew members in the chat are very clear about the way they feel. Okay? You can feel how you want to feel, baby. Don't none of us know exactly what the hell is going on. So draw your conclusions however you see fit based upon the information provided. I don't have to agree with you. I don't need to agree with you. And I'm not here to agree with you, bitches. Ain't no echo chamber. I think what the fuck I think, and you think what the fuck you think. And just worry about what you think, because I'm here putting out what I think. Okay?
Of that as well, so we can introduce you to this gentleman who was killed. His name is Victor Shaw. He is 66 years old. We understand that he had some serious health problems. He couldn't get around very well, but he lived with his younger sister, Sherry, and they lived in the family home where they had been for years. When the fire started to move through yesterday and burning everything, Sherry said to him that we've got to go. And she ran out the door and fled herself. But she said that he responded by saying, I'm going to stay behind and try to fight the fire, which he did. But sadly, this morning, when they returned to the property, they found Victor's body. It was lying outside, and he was still holding the garden hose in his hands.
My God, today, let me tell y'all, I wanted to run that to tell y'all one thing. Baby, I know what's in California being fought over. For some people, it's all that they actually have. For other people like Paris Hilton, but like Tina Knowles and Ricky Lake, it's only one of many possessions that they own. But let me tell you, baby, even if it's all that you got, please do not motherfucking risk nor sacrifice your goddamn life for stuff, for things. Because your family, they get another family home through hard work. They don't get another you. And now they got to bury him on top of the trauma of their loss materially, and can live another day to get another home, but would never get another brother, grandpa, husband, uncle, and friend. This man gave his life to protect stuff and material shit, replaceable shit. Ain't worth it, baby. Ain't motherfucking worth it. But God be with California. I endorse what's the comedian name? Marlon Wayans said that California is under a rebirth. I find it mighty incredibly synchronistic that everything we're seeing in Hollywood, all the criminality, all of the corruption, all of the buffoonery, all of the evil of the casting couch of these industry spaces, this disparagement when it comes to equal wages, when it comes to sexual abuse, when it comes to sexism, that the symbol, the physical symbol, the physical capital of that industry is up in flames right now. Even the Hollywood sign, baby, is on goddamn fire. Now, it's built out of metal, so it's not going to burn down. But that motherfucker is on fire. Baby, we are under divine times. Divine reckoning is amongst thee. Thank you, Thundercats. I'm always glowing. When these bitches be mad, baby, a bitch be glowing, baby. I just be feeling so bad for them, girl. Like, don't come over here with your badass attitude and your weird ass feelings and your negative low vibrationalness, baby, because a bitch gonna still be glowing when you done. Okay? That's how this is set up over here, baby. Okay? From the inside out, Choco. All right? But the physical, material Hollywood capital is under siege right now. And we're going to see a lot more judgments. We're going to see a lot more reckoning sweep our country, baby. The divine feminine and the age of Aquarius, baby, are coming through. And they have subpoenaed all of Earth's inhabitants into the great throne room for review, assessment, and proper judgment, baby. The only sad part about it is that the innocent are going to be collateral damage in order to get to the wicked. All right? So, my God, today, may the spirit be with all of the innocent people who lost their things, lost their pets, lost their lives, lost a loved one. I just want y'all to get ready, baby. This is going to be a spectacular 2,500-year period. There are going to be mysteries in our skies. There's going to be shaking in our ground. There are going to be manifestations. There are going to be pillaging. There are going to be a burning. There's going to be tsunamis, girl. There are going to be all the things, girl. The earth is going to be quaking. But in all these things, remember the intent, no matter how destructive and bloody, is rebirth, like Wayne said. Like a phoenix, we have the opportunity, baby, to rebuild in righteousness and in love. Okay? Not for the faint of heart, but it's necessary when you need a great reset. And we're under a great reset. This is the great reset of the world. And it's not just going to be America, baby. Every landmass are going to have its resets. And this is just the beginning. So let me put the link to the next live stream, girl. We got to get into some Tony Busby shenanigans. Do y'all want another live? Do y'all want another live, Bria? If y'all want another motherfucking live, we can get into another motherfucking live, baby. This is the link to the next live stream right here. You guys, please click that link. Go over, share, like, get all that out the way so we can get straight on into it. I will see you guys in a few minutes. If you enjoyed yourself, please thumbs up on your way out. Subscribe, tell a friend of a friend of a friend. You can also throw some love at the king on Cash App, $Consciouztv, spelled just how it is on the platform, or paypal.me/Consciouztv, spelled just how it is on the platform. Email me allc@consciouztv@gmail.com. Follow me on Patreon at Consciouztv, and follow me on Instagram at Consciouztv as well. I will see you guys in a few. Peace.